Hello, my fellow command strip residue. I'm Mr. Church. Today we're going to be looking at some new items that have been put in the Atom Shop, including hidden in some greatest hits bundles that you're not going to want to miss. Well, maybe you will. And I'll be crashing out about yet another Bethesda blunder. Now, yesterday I just hit 27,000 subs. So I want to thank you guys so much for all your support. Thanks for watching the videos, for liking, subscribing, and commenting on the videos, and for showing an interest as I've been branching out and doing more stuff. I am still going to be making camp build tutorials, and I've got a camp that I'm cooking up. Anyway, let's look at the new items. There's the Curio cabinet, the motorcycle, and the Enclave paint. They didn't want to put these in a bundle because they were afraid that I'd read them in the order that they listed them instead of in the order that they show up in the pictures. So the solution is to sell them individually. Now, these three items are sold individually. There's no bundle for them. I do like it when you can buy the items individually, but I like it when there's an option to also get a bundle, because that's usually a better value. If you look at this is 1,700 atoms just to get these three things. And so if these were bundled, they would not be selling them for that much. They would probably be 1,500. That's usually about what the bundles are, and there would probably be other things in the bundles. So not as good value because they did that. Individually, these are pretty cool. The Curio cabinet, this is actually a resource collector, which means you can only build one of them in your camp, but it's the kind of thing that you probably wouldn't be building more than one of, because these are kind of unique items that have unique items inside them. You know, if you had more than one, it would look kind of weird. This collects adhesive, asbestos, and ceramic over time. Mine has only collected asbestos and ceramic so far, but anything that collects adhesive, I'm going to be interested in anyway. It's nice that they're making collector devices that kind of can blend in with your builds. The downside of that is if you want to use this for the collecting device, it's not going to really, it's going to look out of place with your other utility items. Not that that really matters if your camp is all about utility. It's going to be kind of weird, you know. Now, I want to give them props for this picture, because whoever took this picture, they just put the item in the picture and then took a picture of it, you know, instead of putting like 7,000 other things around it or having it microscopically zoomed out. I'm just really proud of them, you know, and it's nice seeing them grow up so fast and take on the world. Now, the other new item that's pretty awesome is this motorcycle. It says a restoration for your very own camp. That doesn't mean anything, okay? Kind of a dookie picture, but at least, again, they didn't have 7,000 other things in the shot. That's nice. You can build as many of these as you want in your camp, and with contractor equipped, it only costs 1 steel. And something that I was pleasantly surprised with is you can actually sit on this, and that's really cool. I mean, I'm genuinely shocked that they accidentally gave us a cool item that you can also interact with. And there's going to be some cool stuff that you can make because of this feature. So I'm really excited to see what people come up with, and I'm excited to use this in my camp as just like adding to the lore and the story of my character. It's going to be pretty cool. Now, the other new item that's on the main page is the Enclave paint. Now, here's the thing. This is not a chainsaw skin if you thought it was. This is a skin for the cauterizer. If you don't know what that is, it's a weapon that drops in the gleaming depths. And you can get the plan for it to craft it, or you can get the weapon itself. Both of those things can drop. It has a specific legendary roll. And you can't re-roll it. And it looks like this, okay? And I don't have it yet. I've been grinding the Gleaming Depths on one of my characters, and he hasn't gotten that one yet. So even though I bought the skin, I realize I can't put it on there. but I also wanted to see if it was something that you could place on the chainsaw, because the cauterizer is just a reskinned chainsaw. And no, you cannot put this on a chainsaw. And so I wanted to be, let you guys know, be careful if you're thinking about making this purchase. This can only be attached to the cauterizer. And as you can see, it's almost imperceptibly different. It's like a different color scheme, but other than that, it looks exactly the same. And you cannot put it on your chainsaw, so if you were hoping to put this skin on your chainsaw, it's not going to work. So keep that in mind. I'm not sure why they added a skin for a unique weapon like that, especially one that's... a lot of people aren't even going to know what a cauterizer is. So they might think that this is called the cauterizer paint, and then it goes on a chainsaw, because it doesn't say anywhere down here, it just says cauterizer. They should put down here something like, this can be attached to the cauterizer weapon, which drops from the gleaming depths, but of course that would require them typing like 7 words, and that's way too much work. Am I right? That's way too much work. I get carpal tunnel just thinking about it. Now here's where things get a little goofy. We're in the greatest hits. First of all, we have the Seeing Gold bundle. If you're not seeing gold, that's because you already own all these items, because they're all items from a scoreboard. So I have all this stuff, and I've never once used any of it. Okay, so I have used that item. I've used this item before in building, the golden rope barrier. Other than that, though, I just haven't used this stuff, okay? It's just mostly power armor skins. It's gold, but it's all beat up, weird looking. I don't like it. I don't like this stuff. I will admit that the railroad rifle skin doesn't look bad. Is that worth getting this entire bundle for, though? No. Now things are going to get stupid, okay? Now we've talked about, is Bethesda malicious or foolish? Obviously, they could be both. Those aren't mutually exclusive, okay? So when they're putting stupid stuff in the store that they're not actually selling, like they did last week, we're like, wait a second, are you trying to do this to, like, scam people? Is this intentional? Because it feels intentional. How do you make that stupid of a mistake, right? But this week they've made a mistake that's going to cost them a lot of money. And I'm going to tell you what it is right now. In the Family Fun Day bundle, remember we are in the greatest hits category. Greatest hits means return items that people liked, right? Can we agree on that? These aren't new items. When it says new, it means bundling those items is a new thing they've done. On the front page, this is where the new stuff goes. New, by itself, new. Greatest hits, return items. All right? Yeah, in the Family Fun Day bundle, if you look closely in the fine print, what we have is the leaf pile set. Very easy to miss this because of how they put it in here. This is a new item. This is a new item that has been data mined and people have been looking forward to. It's really cool. It's going to be really good for, like, just making your stuff kind of more immersive, blend into the world a bit. This is what it looks like. There's 3 pieces of it. As you can see, they kind of sink down quite a bit, more than they need to, especially this middle-sized one. And when you put them on a foundation, there is like a horrific flickering around the edges. So keep that in mind if you're wanting to build them on a foundation. That will be something you'll have to deal with. And yeah, it's kind of sketchy. I don't like it. Now, because of their special advertising, we have the Nuka-Cola patio set, the Corvega porch swing, the Silver barbecue grill, the Vaultec foosball table, the tire swing tree, the games cup board, the leaf pile set, Alright, so obviously, because they put this stuff out of order, and so people don't know what the stuff is. The tire swing tree is actually pretty fun. You can interact with it and you swing on the tire. The games cupboard collects board game junk items over time. It's pretty cool. I've covered it in another video as well. You can interact with and play foosball. How fun could that be? But hidden within this Family Fun Day bundle, the brand new leaf pile set that everybody's been waiting for. And instead of putting it in the front page with a new tab and putting it by itself so people could choose to buy this new item that they've been waiting for, they hid it in an old return items bundle. And if you already own everything else in this bundle, it'll literally cost you 100 atoms. Okay? So obviously, if they're doing this stuff intentionally, that's pretty tough, you know, to explain this one. Now, this has got me a little shook up because up until this point, I've been feeling pretty angry, you know, because it feels shitty, you know, to be scammed and to feel like you're the victim of predatory marketing. But now I'm feeling a little sad because I've been pretty harsh. I've been pretty harsh on people that are really struggling academically, you might say. And because I don't want to be a piece of shit. You know, I've been kind of hard on them. I did go through the trouble to find some resources. Now, this is a website you can go to if you're looking for work in the Austin, Texas area. So if for some reason you need to find a new job, this should at least get you started in the right direction, and I wish you well in that. But for real, guys, this is so stupid, and it just makes you realize how little they give a fuck. Even in the areas where they can make money by exploiting us, they don't care. They don't care. Whoever is running the shop, like, it makes me speechless. Someone's getting paid, I imagine, to do this. This item is new. And there's going to be a lot of people that don't buy it because they didn't see it because it was in the return items area, which a lot of people don't even bother looking at. Because if they didn't buy it before, you know, and even if they were looking at it, like, you might just breeze through it. It's really easy to miss it because, again, pretty stupid picture, and doesn't cover the fact that there's like 3 leaf piles in the set. Yeah. So whoever put this shit in this bundle didn't know that they hadn't released the leaf pile set yet. They don't know what they haven't put in the game yet. Or they don't care. But I think they don't know, because if they knew that it was never released, obviously they'd put it on the front page, they'd jack the price up then more than this, and they'd try to get as much of your money as possible. Instead, they put it in the Family Fun Day bundle. And so, yeah, if you're a camp builder especially, I wanted to point that out for you because it's a pretty cool item and you're going to want to grab it, especially if they do some scummy shit like raise the price now that it's already been out. And the reason I wouldn't put it past them, here's a reminder right here. In the Bad Omens bundle, we have the Grim Reaper outfit. Now, some of you might not have known this or forgot about it, but 4 months ago, the Grim Reaper outfit was released in a bundle. If you bought it by itself, it was 700 atoms. In the bundle with other stuff, it was like 1,800 atoms, okay? Now, the week after that, they put it in the shop for 1,500 atoms. And a bunch of people bought it for 1,500 atoms. And then, when someone pointed it out, the people that bought it for 1,800 atoms were like, what do you mean? You can't put something on sale a week later that's a brand new item and lower the price like that when it's not even on sale. So they asked for their 300 atoms back, and some people got it and some people didn't. And when people started talking about it in the Bethesda Discord moderators started deleting messages, and then a few hours later, the price was put back up to their original 1,800 atoms because they're pieces of... So let's not forget that happened. This is like I don't know about you guys, but I personally like being treated like a dog, you know? Like, but here's the thing. Not everybody's a cuck. Not everyone's a bottom. And so you shouldn't just, like, treat everybody generally in this abusive kind of way, because it doesn't get everybody going, you know? We're all different. We all have our different flavors that we like. And so, like, personally, I was joking. I don't like that. I don't like that, guys. But some people do. Okay, that's fair. But not all of us do, okay? So, you know, abusing us financially, not as fun. Not as fun. Okay? Now, another cool thing I wanted to point out, though, is the Rustic Greenhouse Kit. If you don't have this yet, this is actually a pretty nice set. This is what it looks like in-game. As you can see, there's actually 4 different wall types, and each one has a different, like, window opening configuration, which I really like, because you can mix and match, you know, and have it look like random windows in your greenhouse are open, which is really nice. The flat roof piece looks like this. And the normal roofs, there's actually 2 kinds. As you can see on the left, there's a curving roof. And then on the right, there's like the normal slanted roof. And they each have one of every type of the windows being open as well. I really like this set, and it's one of the few times where it felt like they gave us more instead of as little as possible. So, like, having all these different options for roofs and walls is really great, and like you can really mix and match. You don't have to have repeating textures, repeating patterns in your build. You can make it look like, you know, people were opening random windows in your greenhouse. I think it looks really great. The half wall piece has a little bit of a curve on the top here, so stacking 2 on top of each other to make a full wall, it doesn't look quite as good as it does with a clean greenhouse set. But this is a really nice set. I really like it. It does not come with a door. The door that I'm using here is actually from the West Virginia Family Center, which is also being sold right now for only 480 atoms. I don't give a fuck about this thing, guys. It's massive. I don't really build in prefabs. And when you have a prefab that's this themed, that you can only do one thing with, I'm never going to use that. Okay? I don't need to make the exact thing that everyone else has done. Something I want to point out, though, is this West Virginia Family Center prefab does not come with this bowling alley, these bowling lanes that are being shown here. These are a separate item. So keep that in mind. If you buy this bowling alley, it doesn't come with bowling. Okay, so I don't recommend it. Although, for only $480, it does come with a cool door, and I've seen doors being sold for 500 atoms, so that doesn't mean they're worth it. But this door could be worth it to you. Something cool you can do with it, I'm using this blueprint that I made that allows me to place down doors wherever I want. And if I change it out to this West Virginia Family Center door, I can actually make like a pretty cool like glass wall just using these doors, which is pretty nice. If you want to see how I made this door blueprint, it's really fun. I haven't had that much fun since I used a cheese grater as a back scratcher. But I'm going to link the video in the description if you want to see how to make this door blueprint, because, boy, you're missing out for sure. Now, somebody in my Discord, Francisco's, I hope I'm saying your name right, pointed out to me the Big Fred's trailer has a few issues. I had heard about it having some weird issues with like merging, like drop merging. It gave you people a hard time. And they said that they were unable to place it in a bunch of their shelters. And then there was also a bunch of reports months ago that if mobs destroyed it, you couldn't repair them. I did test this out, and you can drop merge it, but it's really difficult. It's very uncooperative, and it seems to have a massive hitbox on the bottom of it sticking out from it. So it's hard to grab the item that you're trying to merge with it. And it also, it says it intersects with stuff really, really easily. And what's going on is it's intersecting with the pressure plate itself. There's something underneath it sticking out that's invisible that you can't see. So I went into a few shelters, and in The shelters that had like dirt on the ground, I was able to place this down just fine. But in places that didn't have dirt floors, like this atrium, I couldn't put it down on the ground. It has to be floating. And I think that's the same cause of the merging issues. There's some weird invisible hitbox underneath this thing, and it intersects with stuff. So you can't put it all the way down on the ground in a lot of the shelters. And so that's pretty stupid. It does look cool when it's broken. I lured some mobs over to destroy it, and I was able to repair it. So that issue has been fixed at least. But the other issues are there. So keep that in mind. It also, you cannot put a door on it, even though it has a doorway. There's no door that comes with it. No doors will snap to it. There's obviously ways to get a door in there, but it's terrible having to go through that hara. So yeah, those are some things to keep in mind. And shout out to Francisco's in the Discord. And if you guys aren't in the Discord, make sure you join the Discord. It's a great community. There's a lot of cool channels. You can share your builds. You can meet other people to play with. You can talk about cheese and stuff. I don't know, but the link for that is in the description. Another cool thing in the greatest hits that you might consider picking up is the Amateur Inventors laser gun paint. Now this is a really old skin, actually. I remember back in the day, it was one of the first weapon skins that I actually purchased. I was using a laser rifle at the time a lot, and so it was nice to have a paint on it, especially because it kept me from being able to accidentally script my legacy weapon. Ha ha ha. Anyway, as you can see in this picture, there's actually, the paint looks different depending on what mods you have, which is nice. And this is what it looks like in game, and of course, while you're shooting it and stuff. I like it. As you may know, the original laser rifle is like a hideous green color, so this is a nice option. It doesn't look stupid. It looks very immersive. It looks kind of dirty. There's like some coppery stuff. I really like it. And it's in the shop right now for 300 atoms. Now, in the atomic for sale area, there is some cool stuff you might want, but mostly I'm going to point out this rustic sink. People use this all the time. It's a really nice item. If you're building anything that's a little scrappy or old, it actually would go really well with the greenhouse kit that's in here as well. If you're going to have a sink in a greenhouse, it's probably going to look like this. It does dispense water, which means it cannot be placed inside shelters. Keep that in mind. But it's a really cool item, and yeah, it's in the shop right now, so I recommend it potentially. On the last page, we have, of course, the daily deals over here. For 21 hours, you could get the Camden jumpsuit. Wow! Keep in mind, guys, that this is the main selling point of this jumpsuit, and it's going to likely be covered up by your backpack. And shout out to Vapid Valentine, because she is the one who told me that one time. She got it for that exact reason, and then was like, oh man, my backpack is covering it. But she always has her backpack invisible anyway, so that's fine. But it is something that I wouldn't have thought of if she hadn't said that. I'm going to link Vapid Valentine's channel as well. She makes some really amazing camps, and she has her own YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out. Lots of awesome stuff there, and I'm going to link that in the description. Now, daily deals, there's going to be a different item here every day of the week until next Tuesday, and it's going to be something that's like discounted like 50% off. And Bethesda has released a list of the items that are going to be on for sale each day. And of these things, I do want to point out that the clean greenhouse kit is going to be one of the items this week. And so anyone that makes like clean builds, modern houses or stuff like that, these walls, especially the half walls, are used a lot. And unlike the half wall of the rustic one, like I mentioned before, this one looks perfectly fine and flush, stacked on top of each other. There's no like weird curving things on the top of the pieces. It looks pretty good, and that's going to be on sale on this day. So, make sure you grab that if you were hoping to get it, because it's also going to be for a pretty decent price. Something that I do make every month for my patrons on my Patreon page is these things called patch notes, and these are kind of like my newsletter, if you will, except they're written in patch note format. Now, they're not very, I would say, that insightful, because being late is now impossible. Being a quality of life update probably doesn't tell you too much. Dogs are more hairy than usual? Thank you so much. Every month I do post one of these, and I also post other additional content to my Patreon. If you're interested in joining me on Patreon, it is a really great way to help support the channel, and helps me to be able to buy all these things from the item shop and, like, talk about how shitty it all is, because that's really helpful. And on that note, I do want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my patrons and channel members for your support. I really do appreciate it. And like I said, I couldn't do these videos without that support, and it means a lot to me. And I'm going to have the link for my Patreon edge in the description if you're interested in joining. Another thing I want to mention before I end the video is I stream on Twitch on Mondays and Fridays. And the link for that's going to be in the description. So go give me a follow on there. Pop in, say hello. And I'll see you guys in the next video.